What's Kensington, Philadelphia really like? How's it going, everyone? This is Christian Duke. Thanks for watching Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelsechannel.com. If at any point during this video you like it, please smash that like button. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, as it will really help. Feel free to share this video by copying the URL and sharing it on your social media platforms. And above all else, please leave a comment down below. Well, I've been to Kensington a couple of times. I've done some interviews. I've been able to videotape some of the blight. And I got to tell you something. McPherson Park right there, that's the heart of it all. There's a lot of side streets. There's a couple of gas stations. But I have to be honest with you. If you're going to go there for documentary purposes, you need to be very, very careful. There is a great channel called All Time Media. Now, they do videos right there on McPherson. I don't know how they're able to do them, because every time I've come near the park and people see a camera, they get very, very agitated and they're very hostile. And I've had people actually come at me. One time I was at the park and there was a Philly police officer cruiser in his vehicle. Now, the car was all blacked out, so I couldn't tell, if he was monitoring, if he was sleeping, or what he was doing. I mean, obviously he was awake, I would imagine. I don't know, but his engine was on. He was in there, or she was in there. And the people didn't seem to care that there was a police vehicle immediately next to me. They were still coming at me in a mob. So I don't know how All Time Media is able to do it. I've always meant to send that team an email or a message and say, hey, how do you guys do it? Because their videos are amazing and they get really, really good content. But, I don't know how they do it. The other thing is, a lot of people do the drive-by videos. There's, I think it's called SBC Media or SBC Global or something like that. And they also have a good channel, but they just drive around. And a lot of the people that I've interviewed see them. They're not super fond of the fact that they're being videotaped. You have to understand that a lot of the people that are at Kensington are at their wits' end. They go there because it's a free-for-all. You can get all the drugs that you want there. Now, a lot of people seem to think they're taking heroin, and in reality what they're taking usually is a combination of fentanyl and tranq. And tranq is horse tranquilizer. And it's really, really bad there, because from what I understand, they even have dollar bags, like $1 bags, which is really, really crazy. People shoot themselves up all over the place. I believe they call it hitting. There's hitters all over the place. And so a lot of the people don't actually inject themselves, but they have somebody come and do it for them. And you see it in broad daylight, and it's really, really it's one of those things where you can't believe what you're seeing. And, there is law enforcement. There's a lot of transit police, because the subway or the train go all around there. In fact, there's a train line that goes right down Kensington Avenue, and Kensington Avenue itself is about a mile long, like the really, really bad part of it. But I mean, some of it goes multiple miles, and there's a lot of questionable businesses there. There's some adult businesses, which are really weird. An adult bookstore in the middle of that, which is really crazy. And I've heard some things about that place, but I can't say them here. Lots of liquor stores, and lots of just, normal stores like restaurants, clothing stores. But the thing is that there's trash everywhere. There's really, really unsavory characters walking up and down the street. And I just can't imagine having a business there. I can't imagine living there. It's really, really bad. And while there's a lot of transit police, they tend to protect the trains and the stations. They don't really do much policing besides that. There's a lot of ambulances. There's a lot of fire trucks. But there's a lot of great, great church organizations that give out food and clothes. But there's also a lot of drug dealing. And cameras are something that the drug dealers really don't like. There's drug transactions in broad daylight. There are stoops that are highly, highly defended territory. There are kidnappings, muggings, rapes, assault and batteries, and murders even. It's a very, very crazy place. Some people call it zombie land. Other people just, quite frankly, don't know what to call it. Now, from what I understand, that area of Philadelphia has always been troubled, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the reality of the matter is, if you are a filmmaker and you go out there, be really careful, because law enforcement, unfortunately, will not have your back. And like I said, I thought for sure, because that police cruiser was there at the corner there on McPherson. I thought if I stayed near the cruiser, I'd be okay. But you know, if I hadn't gotten out of there, they might have attacked me right in front of the cop. I don't know. Um, I don't know how some of these channels do it. I would strongly admonish you not to do videos at McPherson Park. I would strongly admonish you not to walk around McPherson Park. I would strongly admonish you not to walk around there at all. If you're going to do interviews, maybe find a spot sort of removed from Kensington, and you can do that. You could tell the person, hey, walk a couple blocks, I'll meet you up there, I'll give you 20 bucks, whatever. Make sure you pay them. Make sure that you get like a 30-second clip of them saying, you know, I was paid for this interview, I allow this interview. That's important for you as a YouTuber and a filmmaker in general, because you can have disclaimers, but I feel that, in other words, you can have a release. You can have somebody sign a release and look it over, but I feel that someone saying on video, and you don't need to use that in the video, but you can keep it for your records. It protects you as a filmmaker. It protects the product that you put out there. And it also protects the person doing the interview, because you can tell them, look, I'm going to put this interview on YouTube, or I'm going to use this interview in the future. I'm going to retain rights to it. You give your consent, that sort of thing. And they also know who you are, where the content's going to go up. You know what I mean? I think that's the way to go about it. You know what I mean? But I know that a lot of people want to go there. Like I said, I've been there twice. I had to see it for myself. It was a lot worse than I could ever imagine. And I suspect if you go there as well, it's going to be a lot worse than you've ever imagined. There's nothing that I have ever seen in New York or Detroit or Miami or anywhere that compares to that. It is, quite frankly, the worst that I've ever seen. And so if you're going to go there, you know, just go there knowing that you're not going to have any sort of protection from law enforcement. Know that you're dealing with people that are completely out of their minds. And it's not so much the victims, the people that are on the drugs, that you have to worry about. It's the drug dealers. You know, Kensington is prime real estate for drug dealers, for gangs. A lot of these side streets, they're one ways only. A lot of the side streets have cars parked on both sides. You can get boxed in very, very easily. It's very dangerous. I really would strongly admonish you not to go there. But I understand, like, if you're like me, the more someone tells you not to go and to be careful, and it's a place that you just don't want to be at, you're going to want to go. So I totally get that. You know, if I could go to North Korea, I would. But it probably wouldn't come back, because maybe I would steal a pamphlet or something and do like 30 years, like that poor American kid that they killed. I know they came back, but he died like 2 days after he came back. I would go to Iran if I could, but probably not a good idea either. But I think what gets so many people to go there is that we're not talking about North Korea. We're not talking about Iran. We're not talking about, you know, Somalia. We're talking about somewhere here in the United States, at one of our nation's capitals, for crying out loud. Philadelphia was our other nation's capital. New York City was the capital for like a very short period, but Philadelphia was actually like legitimately like a long-term capital of the United States. And to see an entire swath of Philadelphia in that shape is mind-boggling. It's absolutely astounding. It just, you will question your existence within 10 minutes of being there. I'm not kidding. And I'm not trying to get you to go there. I'm just trying to, I want you to understand how bad it is. And you, unless you go there, you will never understand how bad. It's really, really bad. And it's a question of, I've got a video, Kensington or Philadelphia, Failed City or something like that, at Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube. You should check out. And I do a voiceover of everything I see. And of course, YouTube made it limited revenue, because they, you know, a lot of business can't advertise on that. And so I don't know how these other channels do it. If they have Patreons, if they've got, you know, premium stuff going on, I don't know. But they're doing a lot of it. And so unless they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, I'm pretty sure they're making money off of it somehow, somewhere. And, but like I said, you know, if you're serious about your craft and you want to see it, to believe it, you're going to have to go there. But like I said, avoid side streets. Do not walk on McPherson Park at all. Like, I don't know how All Time Media does it, but don't. And so avoid side streets. Don't go at night. don't go on McPherson Park. Do not walk anywhere. And if you're going to do interviews, try to get away from the main drags, always somewhere visible. Try to do releases if you can, but especially video releases where the person, knows what the content's for, knows where it's going to go, knows who you are, you know who they are, because you don't want to get your stuff pulled down. And you also want to be able to share it. You know what I mean? The interviews are good. The stories are real, and they don't get more raw, and they don't get more painstaking and heartbreaking. And that's important to put out there. A lot of the people that are there want their stories to be heard. They're people that have been totally written off by society. And an interview means a lot more than just $20. It means being able to say what they want to say, whether 10 people see it or 1 million people see it. And for some, it actually, it's like, it helps them because maybe a family member sees it, a friend sees it, someone sees it, or maybe they see it and they're like, I've got to make a change. The goal is to make a change and to leave. But so many people go there and never come out. I mean, their entire life is Kensington, And the ones that really, truly are hard to help are the functional addicts, because there are people on Kensington that do not look like addicts and that actually have homes, but they're there every day, scoring, trying to get better. And trying to get better is code for getting effed up. So the reality of the matter is that there's all sorts of addicts, and these drug dealers prey on them. It's an open air drug market, and they fight over corners, they fight over stoops. If they see you with a camera, they're going to come after you. Mark my words. Don't be a victim of the drug dealers and the gangs.